Isn't that nice? Just taking a simple breath, right? Wow. Well, if nothing else, the crisis has certainly made us aware of what we hold valuable, right? And taking a breath certainly is of value right now, wouldn't you say? Hi, I'm Janine Macklin, transformational speaker, wealth guide, and catalyst. And in spite of all the other things, I am really on a mission to empower women to feel more confident in their relationship with money and competent in their financial decisions. So I empower women to really think differently for different results in their life and in their business. We just completed a challenge creating our wealth plan, and then this coming weekend we're going to be doing 2 days of a virtual workshop, really filling in that plan, because most women don't have a plan for their future, don't really have something written out for the four primary areas of their lives. So we're going to be looking at, the goals for your health, the goals for your heart, the goals for your faith, and the goals for your finance. But I've been hopping on here since March 13th, beginning something that I didn't know would last as long as it has, which was to give inspiration, motivation, and just to be in this together. This is really the world, because this goes out to everyone. And then I have my smaller groups that I work with, just to be of support as we go through this process, and to share insights, information, to see how you guys are doing, to check on you, see what's going on in your world. I'm in California. Many of the people are here on the East Coast, so it's always nice to give me a temperature about what's happening there. I missed you guys yesterday. I think I went to the doctor. But on Monday, I decided to put a stake in the ground and said, in response to people saying, well, I'll be glad things go back to normal, or I just want things to be normal. I want things to go back to, I put a stake in the ground on Monday and said, we're here. This is our new normal. And I did that and asked you to do it or not, because if we keep waiting for them to tell us, then you stay on their, I don't know what, their whatever that keeps you going up and down and up and down. This is our new normal. Our new normal is that we are at home to some degree, primarily. Our new normal is that many people are off work, the state, the county, the federal government. Our new normal is a health issue, focusing on our health. And then the new normal is focusing on our heart, which is all of the protests, the person not in charge, but in charge enough to send troops into Portland, Oregon, and looking at sending troops into Chicago and maybe other places, which interestingly enough are the hotbeds for people of color. That's the new normal. The new normal is everywhere you go, they take your temperature. So far I've been 97.1, but that's right. Yesterday I did go to the doctor, check on that tibia I've been telling you guys about, and my temperature was 99. I thought, oh goodness, what does that mean? I didn't know why I was 99. When I got back home a couple hours, it was back down to 97.1. So maybe they all make me nervous. Our new normal is our kids are home for school and we're not sure where they're going. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Kat. So that's our new normal. Our new normal is the people that we cherish the most go into the stores early, around 6 or 7, and get their food, and everybody else goes in throughout the day. I'm sure we scatter our times going to the store to make sure we're not in there with a lot of people. The new normal is, I like, parents, families, kids. I saw a mom and a dad and 3 kids on their bike in the middle of the street yesterday. There goes a man walking the dog. There's another dad that I've been watching for months now who hits the sidewalk with his dog and 2 children and one other thing. The new normal is 6 feet of separation everywhere you go, which I don't mind, because we were just in those stores huffing and puffing because the line was taking too long, but thousands of people just right up on you so close. I like the space. The new normal is you have to be creative if you're going to do something with your family this summer. The new normal is you have to be very, very creative if you're going to get on a plane. I was looking at something earlier about a family that moved from, I don't know, Australia or somewhere to Seattle. And the mom was talking about all the things that she had to do for an 18-hour flight. And they took it. So people are flying. People are doing things. The new normal is let's argue over masks, because that's what Americans do. You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to wear. Barely you can't tell me where to go. So that's the new normal. The new normal is being just bombarded with political propaganda in your mail, in your email, in the news. Uh, 6 feet along with 6 degrees of separation. So that's the new normal. So we're here. I don't want you to keep thinking and looking, okay, well, when is it going to settle down? Or when are things going to go back to the way they were over there? They're not. And I want you to decide your narrative so you're not constantly in anxiety. You're not constantly in fear. This just kind of hovering thing can keep you like, well, what's going to happen next? Well, what are we going to do? Well, when is this going to happen? Oh, heck no. Heck no. This is the new normal. Now, part of that new normal, I think I said to you then, is that the new normal is change. See, when we're talking about our people on Facebook and other places, I want to go back to what's normal. You want to go back to the routine where you get up, you go to work, you have your this, you go to school, you take the kids, you do this, you come home. Nice and simple life. Well, life on this planet was never supposed to be about that. There's always a spiritual component of growth and healing, of coming together, of developing, of becoming the best that we can be as part of being on this planet. Not just being greedy, not just buying, not just selling, not just spending, not just drinking, not just eating up everything, but there is some evolution that's supposed to happen with us being on this planet. So the new normal is to be more awake and aware, because what this present normal has us doing, which my son was speaking to, and I think I mentioned that on Monday, is it keeps us alert. It keeps us awake. I don't want you in anxiety, though, and fear. I need you present in your life, unlike you have ever been before. Keep breathing, like Kat says, but be present. What moves you, what touches you, what impacts you, what stirs you, what saddens you. Be present to yourself, present to your family, whoever you're living with and sharing space with. Be present. You don't get to just lay back and say, oh, life can go on. I'm fine. I don't even want to see myself doing that. Life is going to go on, and I'm present. It does require that we make a whole lot of different decisions. I'm trying to look at, maybe a road trip with my son and what that would mean and where we would stay. Is it Airbnb? Is it a hotel? Do we take our own sheets? Do we take our own food? I mean, there's so many doggone questions to consider. But this is it. The hospitals are filling up again. Nothing yet, I think, is in short supply, but I don't know if they ever caught up with the toilet paper. I never have been able to get back to my little box of tissues. I found one Kleenex box last week and haven't seen them since. So they said that the meat may end up being contaminated. We may have become vegetarians, which of course I'm fine with that. But this is the normal. And on Monday I said it to you, and I'm saying to you again, how can you be present in this normal and not be in fear? How can you be present in this normal and not worry? Now, for me, that requires that we look into something bigger than life and all that's going on right here on the planet, that we anchor ourselves in something bigger than that. But if you let the news define your narrative, you will end up crazy. Let's just put it like that. You've got to define, okay, so this is my new normal. So what does this mean? What does this look like? What do I have to do differently? How do I take care of myself and my family? Knowing that this new normal will change in another 2 or 3 weeks. It was going to change because August is coming and we're going to be looking at the students. But that's the new normal. It's changing. It's us being flexible and malleable for what shows up in our lives and then making strategic decisions about what we either are or are not going to do. And the thing that's we have to look at is this thing about staying in the house. It can often become like this invisible sense of not freedom. You can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. And when you really walk out the house, it's like, am I supposed to be out here or not? So there's a variety of different things that pop up for us. But the biggest thing I want you to do is you define your narrative. Don't let the news tell you. I'm still trying to find what I'm going to do about exercises. I look at my TV and the thing called the mirror is on there. I'm like, what is that? Probably like $2,000 or $3,000, mirror.com. So I get to exercise in the mirror and it shows me what I'm doing. That's probably the biggest piece for me is exercise. That to me keeps us alive. If we can exercise, if we can move our body, if we can walk, if we can ride bikes, if we can climb and hike and do trails, that's what the health piece is all about. Now, the heart piece, because I keep telling you it's a health issue and a heart issue. Well, the heart issue, when it comes to our hearts, oh my goodness. Sometimes I think it's real clear what we're going to do, and other times it's not. It's not so clear. Um, I know it's Kat. I see you put mirror in there, and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't need their mirror. I just use the mirror on the back of my door. I'm looking at Beachbody because I've done that before, and I like Sean, but they don't do DVDs anymore, so I have to do it on the computer, which ultimately I'd have to put on my TV because I'm just not sure about getting to the gym anytime soon. And I don't mind you having to make those choices and decisions, but that's what this is about. We have to make choices. We have to make decisions in this moment every day for ourselves, for our families. But then we also have to take into consideration the other people we live on the planet with. And we haven't been good at that. We necessarily haven't been good at taking care of people in our own community, like 5 houses to your right, 5 houses to your left, and then opposite direction. So we kind of struggle with that. Wear a mask? No, I don't want to wear a mask. You gonna wear a mask? Yeah, I'm gonna wear a mask. Okay, well, you make your own decisions at this point, and you deal with whatever consequences that go with that. I do want people to wear their masks when around me. I wear my mask, and I do my 6 feet of separation when I'm anywhere. Oh, the Groove is a great video workout. Okay, I'll look for that because I rather dance and work out that way, and then I'm gonna do my push-ups. No, not push-ups. I'm gonna do my sit-ups, and then whatever exercises strengthen my back. Because of course, in the strength of my back, I have to strengthen the core. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. But this is our normal, and I want you to try and enjoy it as much as you can and be present in it as much as you can. Because where are you going to go? Maybe you used to dream and daydream in the past and say, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And you can. People are doing things. But it's really about you defining your narrative, knowing that it's going to change. Know that there's several scenarios that are going to impact it for all of us. So that at least you feel more in control of what's happening in your life. What's happening for you, and you make decisions to the best that you can for what's happening for you and those that you love and those around you. But this waiting for normal, what do you tell me normal? What the normal, 8 to 5? Well, some people are still doing that, but many people are working from home. But what that's showing America is that quite a few more people could work from home. I mean, the way this country has been spending money, and I'm always looking at my neighbors, and running through money, maybe we need to come home. Maybe there's more things we need to do that don't cost this much. Maybe we don't need all these buildings we have and all this stuff that we've built that costs so much to run this world and this country and all this stuff. Maybe it's time for us to move back and pull back some. I don't know. But I do know that going back to 9 to 5, it's going to be a minute before we go back to that. Going back to what? I can't even think what else we had that we're going to go back to. Oh, yeah, the freedom to go wherever you want, do whatever you want, with whoever you want, and not get sick. It may take a minute for that. And we've watched other countries do that. We've watched other countries do that, not just with this pandemic, but just over the years. So we never thought it would happen here. So, some people are still kind of in denial. Some people are like, I can't believe this, or when is this going to be over with? Like, it's a time frame. This is going to happen for, how many months is this? March, April, May, June, July, August? Okay, this is September. This is going to happen for 6 months, and then we're going to be done. It's not that. So you have to realize it is uncomfortable for you. It's not something we've been prepared for, to live or to do. We're stepping into it, all of us, kind of tentatively to say, okay, what part is this and what part is real and what part is crazy and what part do we actually buy into? We get to make those decisions. But when it comes to the normalcy of your day-to-day life and experience, you get to decide that. You get to decide that. You get to decide the mindset you're going to have. You get to decide the thoughts that you're going to think about it. You get to decide if you're going to scare yourself or if you're going to be in hope and possibility no matter what. I am actually I don't say if I'm flabbergasted, but I am certainly empowered by the conversations, if nothing else, I'm seeing on TV. The NBA is talking about coming back and bringing in social justice. They were trying to do social justice back when Kaepernick took a knee. But now they finally get it. Okay, it's fine. I don't care. They finally got it. So they're coming back with the two-prong approach. They're going to put equality on here, but they're still going to play. So it's like shifts are starting to happen where we're stepping into a broader conversation. It's just basketball, play basketball, win championship, make money. No, there's greater conversations. I saw today where there's a conversation about colorism. And for those of you who don't know, in many communities, colorism is an issue. For us, it started in slavery. The women who were in the house were usually fair-skinned, although they were being molested and raped and whatever. And the women who were in the field were usually brown-skinned and darker. And they were raped too, so it wasn't like the women in the house got any less or more. Women were raped, period. And so the different shades of the coloring in our communities has an impact. I mean, everything is on the table these days. They haven't missed a beat when it comes to the issues around race, colorism, how we relate to each other, where that stems from. I saw a young lady the other day who has written this whole conversation about how to talk about race, and she's done it in such elementary ways that you can't miss. Because she was like, people aren't getting it and they don't understand. So she created this. I need to get it because it was really wonderful about the subtleties of racism and the subtleties of what we may be talking about that people don't really understand. And it was written in all these beautiful colors, and it was real simple for you to understand. I mean, what's really happening, although it may be somewhat scary and it may be making you nervous or you may be concerned about it, it's like somebody just pulled back the curtain and said, okay, let's just look at all of it. And here it is, and we're going to expose it. Now, what are we going to do about it? You know, we put Black Lives Matter all over places in America we have never seen before. It's like, wow, that's big. And now we have other folks coming in talking about Jesus matters. I'm like, come on now, Jesus is fine. We need to take care of folks on this planet who are not fine. The only thing that matters is Jesus. Jesus is good. Trust me. Jesus is taking care of us, walking with us, doing what needs to be done. So what's happening? You know, the person who has not been in charge finally puts on the mask and then decides he's going to send troops into Portland, thinking about doing it in Chicago. Chicago's mayor, or is it Atlanta, is like, we're not having it. What is going on this planet, I probably would say is unprecedented for America. You know, America's all nice and neat, and back in the day, we were the ones that were on the planet, and we had all the power. But, you know, we're becoming a third world country like everybody else. So it's really interesting if you can kind of step back and watch what's happening and define for yourself. You call your own narrative, you do it, but just trust, like I said, this new narrative is a narrative of unfolding, of changing. That's why I said from the beginning, it's transformation. This is about evolving, us evolving ourselves, our spirit, the way we communicate with each other, the way we take care of each other, the way we support each other, the way we just view each other when we're walking up and down the street. Because it's always been an issue that we don't know each other. You guys know, no offense, what you know about us from what the media has told you. But have you ever talked to one of us to find out what we're all about? So if all you get is from the media, then you're getting something that's slanted, that's been, I can't begin to talk about what the media does in its messaging. But you can be sure if we're not in the history book, and if our histories are not in the history book fully, then you don't have nothing new about us that you're getting from the TV. You're getting old, outdated information. So this is our new normal, talking to each other, looking at each other, paying attention to each other, caring about each other, noticing who has a mask or not, and then you can decide what you're going to do about it, because I don't have time for that. But that's our new normal. So take a deep breath. And that's where we are. We have decisions to make about the police, the defunding the police. You know, it's so amazing in America because everything can get messed up. Everything can get turned around. Defunding the police, when I was there at the marches, it's probably been a month now, it was never about taking all of the money from the police department. We know we need the police. We also know that the footmen on the street and in these patrol cars are probably making like $50,000 a month. They're not the ones who are getting all the money off the top, the cream off the top. That's not them. Of course we need that. But they don't need as much money. It's like a racket, the amount of money that goes to the police departments throughout this country. Somebody's in somebody's slush fund is all I can say. So that becomes an issue for us just to be aware of. How do we have better relationships? A lot of the police want to have better relationships in the community. Matter of fact, a lot of them really want to. It's almost like the higher ups. But it was never about just getting away with the police. You know, so the person who is not in charge, a lot of his programming for his campaign says, you know, Biden's going to do this and you're not going to be safe. Well, nobody's asking for that. It's just asking for, I don't know, somebody's budget was, I don't know how many millions of dollars for the police. It's like, what do the police need that for? When they can't have the cameras on to show us what's happening in the incident, what would you need all the money for? If you can't give us a video of what you were doing with someone that you stopped or someone that you held at gunpoint or someone that you beat up or someone that you, then what's it all for? So this is our present. This is our new normal. It's about being engaged in our lives. It's about, for those of us, sending amazing, powerful energy into the universe for compromise, for compassion, for understanding, because that's the only way we're going to get from point A to point B. It's not necessarily one of those kind of things where, oh, we'll just sit back and wait and see what happens. No, no. I got a notice yesterday. I don't know that you guys get it. I got a, from the U.S. Census Bureau, I got a household policy survey. They wanted to know about the household, what you were doing, how you were doing, all that kind of stuff. I thought, oh, that's interesting. So it's just for you to call the narrative in your life so that you don't feel like something's being done to you and you're a victim, and be able to set your own for yourself. To know that this is our new normal, that everywhere we go, we claim our own new normal going forward, because we're getting further and further away from what was. And we're not 100% sure of what will be, given that we don't have a vaccine, given that we don't know how many people are walking around with this virus. So we don't get to do that anymore. We have to just keep looking that way, just to keep looking forward for where we're going and what we're going into, and do as much research as we can. The other thing you have to be mindful of too is, while the government is pushing masks, no one's talking about holistic treatments. One of the biggest pieces around this is that your immune system is strong. That's the biggest piece. So are you taking vitamin C? Are you taking the vitamin D3 or the D? Are you, what else? Oh, getting your vitamin C, vitamin D. What else were we taking? There was a list. But are you doing what you need to do to take care of you? Are you reading the information and saying, okay, is this going to help with this? Is this going to help with that? Oh, zinc. That's what it was. I have a counterattack that I take that I got from Whole Food. It has zinc. So I'm doing zinc, vitamin C, D3. I think those are my main ones. So that's the new narrative. Now, next week I'll probably have another narrative for you, because that's the way world is. That's the way life is. It's constantly unfolding, constantly shifting, constantly changing. When we had a schedule and a routine, it made us feel safe. Well, some people. You have a schedule telling you what to do. It makes you feel safe because you really don't have to be present in each moment, because the schedule just kind of moves you along like on a conveyor belt. Okay, we're going to do this next. You get up, you go to work, you go here, you go there, go to the store, get your food, go to the gym, work out, come home, see your kids. On Sundays, you go to church. Saturdays, you do this. So it was a routine. So where is your safety, so to speak? Where do you feel contained and held when you don't have a routine? Now, some people just automatically create another routine. But life is causing us to be bigger than our routines and be present in our lives. Be bigger than the routines that we used to have as we create new ones, and still be present in our lives every single moment. I keep encouraging you to make memories. Do not let 2020 be when you get to 2021 say, oh my God, that was a tough year. I didn't get anything done. No, make some memories. Take your pictures, videotape. The play, the fun, the laughter, going to the parks, going hiking in the mountain trails. Create something for you. Create your own summer. Because if not, these days are moving so quick that we started in March. So March, April, I guess we're in spring. And now we're in summer. We may not feel like it and you don't know it, but you are in summer. Get to the pools in your front yard and play in the sprinklers or whatever. Because when August, September comes, now we'll be heading toward fall. And my only awareness about fall is that time change. It would probably be one of the few times I wouldn't want the time to change. I don't want us to be in dark when we wake up and to be in dark at nighttime, particularly if we're not going anywhere. We're not going to work and we're not going to offices. I just don't know how good that's going to be for us. So keep breathing. Keep breathing. Define your narrative. Now, I don't think it'll happen. I'm not that big for you to say, well, Janine, tell me to do this, so I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. I'm just saying to you, you have more control than you may believe. and that you get to define your narrative for yourself and what that's going to look like, how it's going to feel for you during this time. It doesn't have to be the most miserable time for you. You don't have to sit in front of the TV and look at every single thing. I must look at news more now than I ever have. I'm just trying to track what the closures are. So if I want to get on a road trip, where I can go and can't go, but I think I can go anywhere in California and I'm fine. But otherwise, I just have music on all day. So this is our new normal. Claim it for yourself. Let go of the anxiety, the worry, and the nervousness and the fear. And just say, okay, this is where we're going to be for a moment. And know that another new normal is coming. And then another new normal is going to come after that. And if we keep pulling back the curtain on all of America's lies and all of America's misconstrued history and how America has done everything to make herself look great, standing on the backs of everybody else. And it's fine, America, if you want to stand on the backs of black folks who built this country, at least give them credit for it. If you want to stand on the backs of what the Latinos did and what everybody did to this country, then give them credit for it. But don't come in acting like you did it all, because we know you colonizers. You colonized all throughout the whole entire world. That's what you did. Just be honest about being the colonizers, just ripping and raping people and taking their history and changing it around, going about life. That's all. I mean, I don't understand. There doesn't have to be so much argument about the truth that's the truth. We don't need to get no more conversation about slavery. We know slavery happened, period. We know you came over there and got folks. We know you were intrigued by the men of our culture. We know that they made you nervous and you wanted to break them down and have been trying to break them down ever since. That's just history. But you know what, America? I was not pleased to find out that I was the one sitting there watching John Glenn go into space, and it was a black woman who got him up there. I was not happy about the fact you did not share that information. You let us think that you guys had all the information when Taraji and all those women had to come together and someone else had to do a movie to let us know called Hidden Figures that we were behind that. Well, America, that's where you just, I'll leave it at that. So that's just it. So we keep pulling it back for us to look at, and then we all have to make our individual decisions about what we see. And more importantly, what are we going to do on a day-to-day basis regarding those situations? How are we going to treat people differently? How are we going to expect? There goes my dad. How are we going to acknowledge them? We just said acknowledge the truth. If we could just acknowledge the truth, we can go on about what we got to do and live our lives. Half the people are not going to believe it anyway. I'm sure. But you know what? When I went to see Hidden Figures, there were tons of all kind of people in that theater. And I didn't hear a whole lot about it because it was some time ago, but I'm sure people were surprised to find that those women were the ones who were behind the scenes making it happen. In America, that's what makes you kind of not so good on the list. So it's okay because it's all being revealed. Like I said, some people will believe it and some people won't. But there's no way after something's been revealed. It's like someone takes their clothes off and they stand here naked. Now, after they do that, even if they put the clothes back on, you still see them naked. So it's already been revealed. You can't okay, let's cover that up. Cover her up right quick so nobody will see. Well, they done seen your breast. They done seen your belly button. They done seen your scar. They seen your tattoo. They done seen it. They're going to remember something. So now that we've opened all this up, things can't go back to no normal, whatever you thought that was. Our new normal is more about honesty. It's about accountability. It's about learning how to be compassionate with each other, how to embrace others, so that this isn't a white America. This is an America of all people. So I'll get off that soapbox. I just want to make sure you're feeling good in your life and you understand that there's no going back. I think I saw that on someone's Facebook page. They asked, what is it that you really need right now? And people are like normalcy, things to go back the way they were, routine. Create your own routine. No one's going to come knock on your door and say, excuse me, here's the routine you're going to have for the next 2 months. And when you create your routine, do this. Know that it has to be flexible because it's probably going to change. But it was always that way. We just got lulled into this life of living. I always go back to the B movie of just being on the treadmill, living life and doing what you can do and then making your transition and saying, okay, bye, I did my time. But now we're like, okay, we're in life. Let's just see what's going to happen next. I think every morning some people get up and say, okay, now what's happened now? What are they doing now? And then other people like me, it's like, okay, I need to check on my son. See, did he do his final exam for his school? So find that place in there to have some joy and laughter in the process. Try not to be so frustrated with it. Don't let it impact you and your heart. Find ways to enjoy. your life, your family, yourself, your friends, your companions, including yourself for those who are alone, or your animals or your pets. Find ways to still be present in this moment. Love you, love life, love this country, and what the possibility of it. What's the possibility of who we could actually step into being as we go forward? Not the way we used to be, but going forward. You know, I love seeing the parents. I love seeing the dad. I see more men now than I've seen the whole time I've been here for 13 years. It's funny, everybody goes at the same time. I didn't want to get up and go exercise because I always have to go early in the morning, which means I don't get to sleep in. And since I don't already sleep in enough, I'm like, sheesh. So I've got to juggle that because it's going to get hot and those kind of things. But you have to recognize there's some things about this process that we are really enjoying and can find hope and compassion and understanding. There are others about this process that are uncomfortable, that are sticky, that doesn't feel good. The more it comes out, it's like, okay, is there more? How much more do we have to do with? We're sorry about how we treat the black people. We're sorry what we did to the Native Americans. Okay, enough. But it's just history that's coming up. That's been hidden. And the hope is that if you know more about each other, if we know more about each other, we will respond to each other differently and treat each other differently. And so that's why I'm telling you, the new normal is in that direction. It's going to keep coming to you. Just be aware of it. Try not to feel like you're being bombarded by a whole bunch of it. And just take deep breaths. That's what's priceless. That's what the whole thing is really about on some level. How well we take care of our hearts. How well we take care of our health, our breathing. That's amazing. God gave me this long time ago to recognize that there's a power that's breathing your breath and beating your heart. And it's not you. And that power is still breathing our breath and beating our hearts. We just get to help it out with some of the choices we make. Yeah, that was a great movie, huh? I just looked at it last week. I've been focusing on Michael Jordan's Last Dance just because of his motivation and his stamina and his stick-to-itiveness, because I need to make some health changes. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a mind like Mike. So there's a lot of good movies. And at the same time, there's absolutely nothing. I can turn the TV off. It's like, okay, now what? And this is the time that you get to ask yourself those questions and decide. I keep reminding you, remember when you were in that old routine and you used to say to yourself, doggone, wish I had more time. I could do this and I could do that and I could do this. Well, now you have the time. Don't let this time slip by, and you don't write the book. You don't create the photo album. You don't do the knitting or crocheting. You don't make whatever it is that you sew and make that you want to give to your family. You don't do the mask because that's what you said you wanted to do. No, this is when you do all those things that you said you wanted to do. Think of this as your time to celebrate you and in all that you say you want to do. So Kate, take Kat. I keep calling her Kat. Kate, but her name is Kat because there's no E on the end of it. Have a great day. We're in LA. Crystal Foster, good to see you. And how's your family? And did I see little children on your picture? Everybody else take good care. Know that in spite of how it may look, we're really all in it together. And to the young soldiers, I don't know if you even see any of this because you guys are out there. I don't even know what to say about you. The tenacity. When I looked at those people in Portland, I grew up in Portland. Portland was primarily white when I was there, like 8 or 9 years old. To see people marching, to see the determination that the country has. I thought about that. You go into the desert for the day. What's that like? Because then I thought instead of going to Carmel or Monterey, why don't we just drive down to Palm Springs? We could get a hotel or something and maybe somebody's jacuzzi might be open and relax. So, what's today? I don't know what today is, but okay, you're going today. Oh, it is hot? Okay. Thank you very much. Maybe I won't go that way because at least if I know I go up north, it's going to be chilly. So anyway, I was just infatuated by all the people walking on my street. I just don't want to put any clothes on. I can't wait till we get to a place where maybe we don't have to wear as many clothes and we just go kind of like, my gown and stuff is under here. This is just my caftan that I can walk around in because it's getting dressed and putting on exercise pants. I don't feel like doing all that. In the meantime, though, grandbabies and sunshine, my daughters. Oh, is that who that is? Oh, wonderful. Take good care. Take care of some. 114 in Palm Springs. Bless you, my dear. No, I won't be going there. Okay. Anyway, everyone take good care. Remember, you set your narrative. Know that the new narrative is change. The new narrative, when you say, I want things to be normal, normal is changed. It was going on before, but that routine that America had us on hid it from us, so to speak. We could be unconscious. We don't get to be unconscious these days. It is calling for us to be 100% on deck and present in our lives in this experience. Take good care. Love you all. Simply knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly in your life for you according to the highest, highest, highest plan for your life, for all of our lives on this planet. Have a great day. Thank you, Kat.